when it comes to showing up for the business, when it comes to marketing themselves, they usually don't market themselves, they market their service. And that's where a lot of people, they might even have a hard time doing it because they might be like, oh, I know I really should um, show up like this. I know I really should get on YouTube or get on Instagram and talk about what I do, but I am so camera shy, or I have all these barriers. So I'm not going to ramble anymore. I just wanted to use a little bit of time to give you a few strategies that you might implement that will help you to really show up. Okay. Okay. So the first one I would say is definitely get on somebody's podcast, right? So I just created a package where if you are a sole proprietor, this is like a steal of a deal. But if you are a sole proprietor and you've had some difficulty showing up and you just want to not be on screen talking to yourself, just telling people about your goods and services, I have a package where I will come on and I will strategically interview you so that people get to know who you are. I'm a pretty authentic person and I'm very curious as to who people are and what they do and just how they serve others, right? So that could be a package that you take. If you say, I'm not ready because I'm not here to sell you, I'm just telling you what your options are. Something is, if you have a loud friend who don't mind, who be blowing up social media and they are not camera shy or anybody shy, tell them, let's go on live together. Let's do a Instagram live or a Facebook live where we could both share the screen and have an authentic conversation so that my viewers could get to know me, right? So that would be a suggestion. I will, of course, will recommend my services because my strategic questions are to not just give you a customer, but to help you have repeat customers. But I know I'm not here to serve everyone, but I just had to throw that in there, because it's business, right? Okay. The second thing, if you are afraid of showing up, this might be a little bit deep, but I would say practice watching yourself and speaking to yourself in the mirror. Now, sometimes, I'm a holistic nurse, so I got to go there. Sometimes we don't like ourselves. Sometimes we don't like how we sound. Sometimes we don't like how we look. Sometimes we don't like, some people have so much trauma from childhood that even just looking at themselves in the mirror brings up feelings of disgust. Something I would say is definitely talk to a mental health professional. Get some help because, like I said, people are not just buying your service, they're buying you. And if you are having trouble liking you, it's going to make it really hard for other people to be endeared to you. I always say you have to be your own best friend and your biggest advocate. And it takes some time because I remember I used to have times where I didn't like looking at myself in the mirror. I didn't like what I saw reflecting back to me. But until I worked on that, I couldn't really show up for my business because showing up for your business is a form of serving other people. And if you cannot serve others, if you cannot serve yourself, you really don't have all the tools necessary to serve other people. And I say this because you might be like, well, I have had business before and I have clients or I have a thriving business and I don't like to look at myself in the mirror. But what I am talking about is I'm talking about business of the future, right? So in the past, yes, you could have sent out marketers, you could have sent out other people. But as technology grows and everything becomes obscure and you don't know who is who, people are going to look to not just work with services, but they're looking for specific people with specific energies. So if if that resonate with you, then you know what I mean. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well then maybe this is really not the channel for you. But what what in the future people are looking for a specific type of person to work with. People, and I don't think it's just about the future. I think people have always been looking for a specific type of people. They want to know that who they're doing business with are people of integrity, are people who have some kind of humility, who could say when they did wrong, who could be responsible, who you could hold accountable. These things people have always looked for all the time. The difference is back in the day, you could still show up in a business and find the owner and find the people. Whereas as you're moving towards technology, it's not as, walking into a business is not the same like it used to. So I'm just talking about the future. It's a skill that you really would benefit from cultivating, at least even if you start imperfectly, right? And the third thing, okay, the last thing I would say in showing up is to first show up for yourself, and this might be like kind of like cliche, but you have to show up for you first. And when I say show up for you, yes, I am talking about self care. I am talking about taking care of yourself. Why I say this? Well, if you are making promises to yourself and you say, okay, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, and you don't do it, every time you break a promise to yourself, you knock down your confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you increase your confidence. If you could trust you, that will come across as very confident. If you are actually listening to your own words, listening to the paying attention to yourself, your body, your environment, you are going to take yourself seriously. When you take yourself seriously, other people will take yourself seriously too. They will take you seriously. And when you show up, you will not just show up talking about your whys, right? Telling us who you really are and showing up imperfectly, but you will actually show up with that mm, energy. I talk a lot about energy. You would show up with the energy that even if you come on and you say something wrong or you do something wrong, you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm human. I would have done, yeah. Don't you mess up? Don't you trip up on words when we're talking to each other? You wouldn't be so hard on yourself. You wouldn't be so perfectionist, like, oh, it has to look this way and it has to be that way. And I have to say this and I can't offend this person, right? That fear, right, will resolve when you have first showed up for you, when you have showed up and say, you know what, I am going to take care of me, I am going to do this for me and for my business, right? And then when you remember why you're showing up, right? Because you are valuable, you have so much. I can't tell you how many people I meet in this life and they are just walking gems. They have so much value just packed into them, but no way of bringing it out, right? And because they have not practiced bringing it out, when they do try to bring it out, it kind of just like, ah, it just kind of just, it's too much for people. It's too much to take, right? And I'm talking not because I read a book or I saw somebody's podcast, but I'm talking from my own personal experience. You find your voice when you use your voice. You will use your voice when you remember why you were sent to use your voice, when you remember why you were given your voice in the first place. So when you remember why it is, why are you really starting a business? Some people say, yeah, I'm doing a business for financial freedom. But I tell you, 9 times out of 10, there's a reason deeper than financial freedom. It is something that they do well, that they know that they could show up and serve people on a higher level, right? There is something that maybe is whispering in their soul that says, you have the solution to this. There is a reason why you decided to start a business. There's a reason why you decided to come to the market and say, here I am. I have something to say. I have some research. I have some products. I have some solutions, right? There's a reason behind why you're doing what you're doing. So remember that and speak to that and show up to that. I hope this was helpful, valuable, motivated, encouraging, telling you, yeah, you can do it, right? That's who I am. I'm here to promote you. I'm here to support you along the way. I am a holistic business consultant. I am a holistic nurse consultant. So, if at anything that we talked about today, you're like, man, I can use some support, check out my website, Preservers of Life. If you like this, I always say content is the new currency. So, if this provided some kind of value to you, nothing is free. Go ahead, hit the like, share it with a friend. You know what to do, right? But I thank you. I just want to thank you for your attention to this content. And if there's anything that you think that would be helpful, or you're wondering, well, what could I do? How can I help? I want to help as many people as possible. So be sure to leave a comment and let me know down in the comments box. If you have not yet connected with me, connect with me. Connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me on Facebook, right? Friend me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty much connected. And if you can't tell by now, I love people, right? So stay in my network. Let's grow together, right? I'm here to support you. I thank you for your time, your attention, and I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?